Clear line.
This is the one and only virtual reality flight simulator designed specifically for hang gliding. It's called the Freeflight experience, and it is software that is overlaid on Google Earth with a selection of popular hang gliding sites. And one of these sites is our site in southwestern Ontario, SOGA. This virtual reality software, it's going to help familiarize myself with new sites if I end up traveling somewhere on a hang gliding trip, say to Mount 7 out in BC or down in California somewhere, so I can practice flying the sites and see what's around there without actually ever going there. So then when you get there, you have a better idea of where everything is, where the launch is and where the landing field is. I've imported a few live shots from last summer so you can see how real it is. It's the exact map of the area. It also helps you practice thermaling techniques rather than just randomly flying around. There's different thermaling techniques to help you find thermals, stay in the thermals, and if you've lost them, how to get back in them. So there's a lot of technical stuff for thermaling, and this software can help me do that. The other thing is how to use advanced features on the Vario, your flight computer. You know, these type of things are difficult to figure out, especially if you're not in the air using them. So this virtual reality software is going to help me use my flight computer and practice the different settings and how to read them. It's better to learn how to use your flight computer Vario on the ground in a virtual reality setting rather than, wait till you get up in the air and then you're trying to figure out what everything means or how to operate it. So this software help you do it, right from the comfort of your home. Three key pieces of software. First, obviously, is the Freeflight experience software, which you download, and then there's the virtual desktop software, and then there's the Oculus virtual reality meta that you have to set up. Launch the game, and the first thing it's going to ask you is for the license agreement, and that window should pop up. It pops up, you got to go down and accept. Launches into the virtual reality Freeflight experience software, and this is the first screen you'll see. Right controller, left controller. On the left controller, the two I use the most are the X for chase view, which is like the third person view, and Y is for pilot view. So I'll get seasick or motion sickness, or we call it, using pilot view. So I usually revert to X for chase view. Launch AI pilot is just a second glider. Recenter is if things are off center like this, you hit it, it'll bring it back to center. And the B, hide thermals, and AC thermals. And then this one here, you press the toggle to start, to launch the pilot, or to pause. That one there to release the tow rope. There's a list of flying sites. Scroll down to SOGA, pick our home site. It'll then go to the Freeflight server, and it downloads all the Google Earth files and all the information that it needs to fly that site. It loads up, and there we are on the east runway at SOGA. And it's going to count down, and then when it stops counting down, you then have to push the pause button to start it. So that's the right controller,
I'm going to press that right button once and then twice. Just like the actual field. We're going to get ready. The tug pilot's getting ready to go. And it's going to take up the slack and the rope. Now you got to wait a few seconds for him to get ready. He's going to flap the tail, and that means he's taking off. I found launching on the cart is the most difficult launching technique in the game because I need to be in first person view to launch off the cart. I find it easier to launch off the cart in first person view versus second person view. The problem with the first person view is I get motion sickness almost instantly in first person view. So what I'll do is I will launch off the cart in first person view, and then once he's off the cart, I'll switch to second person view. For this video, I have left it in first person view for a bit, just so you can see that the layout of our land is the same. But this is back a couple of years when Google Earth had pictures or images of our field before we put in the other runways. This is the difference between second person view and first person view. Just switching it between the two with the left controller. So there's second person view, and then push the button back to first person view. Well, to read the Vario, you need to be in first person view. So I'll switch on to first person view, read the Vario, and then go back to second person view. But in this case, I have an option added on here, which is XC-SOAR, which is my actual Vario streaming to the game. And the game is sending XC-SOAR on my Android phone the GPS coordinates and altitude, so it's exactly as when you are flying. And I can read it. I can set tasks or whatever and see what's happening with the Vario as I'm flying in the living room. For the thermals, they're represented in little bubbles there, and as you can see, you can turn them on and off, or visible or non-visible. And you can see they are drifting in the direction of the wind, and as you change the wind strength and direction, they will adjust as they would in real life. One last note on the software: you don't need to suspend the harness, and you don't even need a harness. It's actually better to just do it in front of your desktop with the Oculus headset and controllers in your hands, so you have access to the PC. Easier to do it that way.